Okay, day 2 of the snowstorm. This one didn't stick very good, and it's already melted off, but that's okay. We can use the moisture. Not gonna say no to that. So, Lazy Jeff's got a bunch of stuff needs to go out on the steps. Let's go have a look. See, it's Monday morning, April 11th, and I haven't done my taxes. I did them yesterday. Now I gotta go to the accountant. God, I hate this. I hate taxes. Mr. Griffey's up. He'd rather drink water out of the driveway or the toilet or the shower than his dog water. Go figure. Must taste better. Okay, so I got a shirt going out to Wesley Pritz in Meyersdale, PA. Thank you, Wesley. Oh, got a couple of hats going to, I don't know how to pronounce this, Mr. O'Donnell. It's E-O-I-N. Eoin? Owen? Owen? Anyway, thank you, sir. Package going to Daryl Weathers in Arkansas City, Arkansas. One couple of hats going to Laura Donaldson in Paulding, Ohio. I bet those are for your husband. Maybe he'll take you to dinner after you buy him those hats. Good luck with that. All right, Mr. Griffey, you ready to go bury some bones? You ready? Yeah, he don't know. Okay, got my new shaft. I don't know if this is an actual Spicer or not, but anyway, looks pretty much identical to the old one. Got it from this guy off the internets. Chris Gordon says, thanks for your purchase. I hope you loved it. $159. That was pretty cheap compared to everybody else, so. My buddy Brian Block said I should get my hearing checked. I tell you, Brian, I never heard anything squeak. The dead giveaway was every time I turned the wheel, cranked it all the way one way or the other, the wheel would, push back. And I should have known something was funny. I should have checked it a long time ago. But I greased it like 2 weeks earlier. Greased the hell out of it. Everything was together. So you never know, do you? Morning, kids. Colder than a well digger's butt. Frozen turd and a dead Eskimo this morning. Got a winter weather advisory. 1 to 5 inches of this awesome white stuff. Yabba dabba doo. So, let me show you what I've been up to. Matt's been working on a 613. I've been trying to figure out how to pick up this piece of AR plate, and it ain't working real well. So I stuck a chain on it and lifted the ends up, but every time I picked the center up, they had drooped down. I don't remember how we did this, but I need something better to pick it up. And it looks like the forklifts, I'm about to blow a hose. I better even not try this anymore till I fix this hose. I am losing oil. Those are horrible hoses. They need replaced. I need to put it in the shop and fix it. But I got my part for my Super Dodge, so I think maybe what I'll do today is work on that and get it fixed. Then I'd have room to get the forklift in here, but I'm afraid that hose is gonna blow and then I'll drop everything on the ground. Have a catastrophe. Installed the U-joints on the new one and it's ready to go in, but I gotta clean the axle housing out Pull the diff cover off, drain all the oil. It's due for a change. Pull the cover off. There's a shifter mechanism. It's a collar that goes over that axle, and then the other chunk goes into the differential. Okay, I got to get all the bolts out of the diff cover so I can get that off and get the oil out of it. So when you do wheel seals in these, you can do the right front one by taking the cover off the four-wheel drive shift mechanism over there, but the one on the right or left side, if you want to replace the seal, you've got to take this cover off and probably the tie rod, because you've got to take the whole differential out to be able to get your tool in there to drive the old one out and put the new one in with the tool. The seals drive out. They don't come out from the outside of the axle tube. They come out from the, you bang them into the inside, and then you have to install them. You put your tool up in here and install them from the inside. So I'm not going to be doing the seal on this side. I'm just going to pull the axle out on the left front, and I'm going to pull the shaft out and replace the joint. I bought two of them, so I might as well replace them both. It didn't come loose. I mean, it didn't grease. I have a hard time talking when I'm working. No good at it. Just not good at it. Here we come. Try not to make a mess all over, Jeff. Nice clean oil. Here we come. Here we come. Ooh. Should have taken a steam cleaner to it, though. I don't see metal and junk in there, really. Yeah, it's a little dirty. Yeah, there's some wear in there. So now I gotta go inside this tube in here, pull the paper towel out. It had oil all over in there. So let's turn it, see if I can shine the light in there. That's what she looks like in there. You gotta clean all this mess up. You can't have all this filth when you put it back together, or you're gonna ruin that seal. Okay, I made me a cleaning tool. I took this brush, taped it to this big long bar, and then I got a bucket of some solvent. I'll just have to dip it and run it in and out of there till I get it cleaned up. So let's see how that works out. Oh, and I let the jack way down too so that it'll run out instead of getting trapped in there against the seal. Yummy. Okay, so there's some stuff. Oh, there's a chain in here. I don't know why that's in there. should have got most of it. Now, gotta figure out how to get a big old wad of paper towels in and out of there. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's getting there. I'm kind of an ether connoisseur. I prefer the Johnson's Start Ya Bastard for cleaning stuff because you can put these little nozzles on there. In we go. It's rusty in there, but you're never going to clean that out. Unless I put a wire wheel in there, there's no need for that. I just need it. I just need the big chunks out of here so that it's fairly clean. Yeah, that worked. That worked good. Okay, this right here is the vacuum operated mechanism, so I got to get this cover off now. So I've been for you Aussies down under, I've been watching a YouTube channel, a guy named Danny Hayes, $1 Million Bogan is the name of his channel. He's got this crazy girlfriend Veronica, and he goes across Australia on Harleys, and he just literally thrashes them to death. Tough bikes to put up with what he's doing to them.
I need to get me one of those police body cams. Just wear that and you can see everything I do, everything I say.
We're gonna get some oil out of it. Okay, so that is the shifting mechanism. Okay, so here's the mechanism, and this is the shifting for it, or the deal that slides over it. There it is. So what it does is that other shaft goes in there, so when it engages, it slides this over onto the splines on the right hand axle. And what it's for is when you're going down the road, believe it or not, by just unhooking one axle, it won't spin the drive shaft out of the differential and into the transfer case. And let me show you inside here. So that when the shaft goes in, it's got a little stub on there, and that's what supports it and holds it straight. And then, as you can see, inside there is the seal, and that's foobar, and that's got to come out from the inside and go back in the inside. So I gotta figure out how to get that out of there. Okay, so I figured it out. Jeff wins again. So what I did is I took a great big socket and rammed it in there with it was a 2-inch 1-inch drive socket and our biggest long extension, and popped it out. So there it is, but the lip's trashed. See, that one's gonna go over the lip. So you gotta clean this all up first and put some oil on it before I put it in there. So this will all go inside the axle tube. Then I gotta run the bolt in through here and put the nut on it. And then crank it down until it sucks it in where it belongs. So this is where I got my tool. 4x4 Tech Incorporated. 4x4tools.com. Quad4x4.com. Anyway, they make the tools. They show you how to do it. And then they also have a lot of other tools. There's a differential case spreader. Oh, look, they have the outer axles too. I could have checked there, but the one I got right here, I think was only 150 bucks. Napa wanted like 275. Okay, so this is the shaft that goes into the differential. The fine splines go in the differential, and this end goes in the other end of the axle shaft. Okay, so I got my seal in and my tool setup in. So now comes the fun part. So I pulled that axle out, and you can shove that back through the seal, but these splines on this end are quite large, and I was kind of worried it would damage the seal, so I cleaned it up, put it back in, and you could just barely get the nut on. You have to put the seal in, and then get the installer inside the seal there, and then get the rod and everything in there. So I am going to attempt to do this. Here we go, upside down. I'm going to attempt to do this with it like that, and you take a couple of 15/16ths and you start cranking her in. So
I gotta watch this very carefully, because the last thing I want to do is dick it up. Because I've only got one seal. I don't know what you'd have to go get another one. Timbuktu? Everything's impossible to find. Okay, that doesn't seem like that's going in. That's, I don't know. How do you know you're started and you're in there straight? How? How can you possibly know? It says to hold this one and turn this one. Seems to be going in. I'm just concerned that it's going in straight. How do you know? Looks like it's pulling it in on this side farther than the other one, which concerns me greatly.
I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not quite in there far enough. I just gotta go a little bit more.
So, put it back in. Come on, dude. So that deal's gotta go in the seal. We did oil it. There, bingo, falls right in. So now, I get the rod back through it. And get the washer back on it. Okay, that's on. Now find the nut. There's the nut. And then you gotta put that on. Shove the rod into it. Engages and straight on.
now screw it in some more. Because I didn't double check this before I took the old one out, I'm probably going to do this twice. Taking it out is my guess. Hello? Yeah. What are you people doing? Hi, Buffer. Hi, you gotta go for a poop.
I said, let's go see Chip. Boy, he was excited.
I'll bet. Who doesn't want to come see Jeff? Everybody wants to come see Jeff. Huh?
I'm bored and I can't do anything.
And go find a bone?
He barked at the vacuum.
Did you bring him?
Scared me to death because I went involved.
Uh-huh.
This lady actually sat in on the session, like a video session. So this.
Okay, Mrs. Jpaydirt and Griffey were here, so.
I'm not hard to read. I just want more. I wanted to cry.
Make him growl. Make him do something for it.
Growl.
Growl. Yeah, there you go. He did it. He did it.
Alright, this is the last of it.
He's dropped it. Dropped it on the floor. He got it.
Okay. Growl. Growl.
Growl, Griff. Growl. Arr. He's doing it. You just can't hear him. See, I can't growl very loud, but I can sure bark loud. Had to spend time with them. Anyway, so I put the axle in, checked where it was running on the surface. It was in the right place. So I've put the shift collar in, put some grease all over the axle and stuffed that back in. And so at this point, I'm going to, I think, clean up that where the bearing goes in and get the bearing support on to hold that up. And then this side can go together. And one of the things I should have done first was clean that up before I put that in. Mistake number 12. Again, I'm making all these mistakes so you don't have to. So number 1, clean the hole up, get out your Craftsman bar, put your brush on it, tape that on, run that in and out with some solvent, tape a paper towel to the brush, run it in there, clean it out, pull your shift collar off, clean that up. Don't bother pulling that inner axle out, don't even mess with that. Now in the end of this shaft is a plastic bushing that goes in the end of it, and then it goes on that stub shaft sticking out of the inner axle. Take that out, clean it out, put some grease on it and the inside so that it's got some lube when it goes back in. Make sure to clean this up before you put the axle in it, just make it a whole lot easier. I gotta clean that gasket up, and I can't remember what you gotta do, but I think you're supposed to take the breather line off here and get some oil down in there. I'm not sure. You're supposed to let that be dry because it's got that collar in there. It's got a collar in here that the shaft goes in, and I don't know how the oil, I'm sure it gets up in there eventually. I don't know if there's a hole in it or what, but see, that's the shifting mechanism, and I think it sits here and slides into the other one. Ow. So that's disengaged. So if you rotate the drive line, it'll turn, but believe it or not, your drive line over here won't turn if that's disengaged. It just turns the side gears in the differential. There, I'm getting it with my hand. Now, question is it where it needs to be? Not quite. Get my tools out of here. Put my hat back on. Okay. Let us exit the vehicle. All right. Are we still upside down? I don't know. If you are, nothing I can do about it. Okay, now time to put the disc in. Oh, geez, you know what I forgot? No. I forgot to put that shield on. That goes behind that. Unbelievable. I gotta take that all back off. Balls. Okay, so I fixed my boo-boo. Got the shield back on. Got her put together. So, don't know if I mentioned this, but you gotta put 5 ounces of gear oil down through the breather tube, which you can't get off. So I'm gonna have to screw out the indicator sensor and put it in through that hole. But I got the diff cover glued on. I'm not gonna put any gear oil in it till tomorrow. I'm gonna let the silicone set up good. And then, you know, I kind of think I know why these joints didn't last. Remember that job I had a year ago working up in the river, and I had to drive through all that deep water every day to get in there? And then somebody stole the Wapco and drove it out there and got it stuck on a gravel bar. Well, Jake was smart. He came home and greased his whole front end really good after that job, and I didn't even think about it. So that's probably what wiped them out so quick, was I ran in the water and then didn't get them greased. Lesson learned. Look at the snow coming down.
Wow.
It ruined your TV, didn't it?
Yeah, it ruined my TV.
We're all gonna die because we can't watch TV, right?
Yeah.
What a bummer. I wasn't gonna do the other side. I thought, oh, it's good. No, it's not. So this one in here is bad. You can see the rest, and there was no grease coming out. Anyway, she doesn't want to move. So this one wasn't far away from being destroyed. Now the other problem with the other side is when that failed, it broke the lower ball joint grease fitting off. And I tried drilling it. I tried everything, couldn't get it out. A drill wouldn't touch it. It was like harder than the back of your head. So all I could do was silicone the hole shut. So here in about a year, I'll probably be doing lower ball joint because I can't grease it. There it is, rusty. She was toast. Good thing I took it apart. Okay, greasable U-joints. When you grease them, if you don't get grease out all 4 of them, you got a problem. So it was one joint. Eventually that would have failed and did what the other side did. So I'm sure I did the damage when I went through the river water day after day with the pickup. Okay, this is the new joint. Came in a Napa box, but it says SKF on the side. So they come with this Vaseline grease they put in them. It's adequate for assembly, but I really don't think it's adequate to just put it in and drive it. I always grease them when I'm done, make sure I get grease out of there everywhere. Okay, I got her back in. One of the things I wanted to mention to you was this flange right here, and then the hub, and this piece of tin. Really clean them up good. Don't leave any junk under them, because depending on where the junk is, if it cocks it out, it's going to give you a toe out or toe in problem. If it's top to bottom, it's going to mess up your caster camber. Your tires are going to wear funny. So what I do is I just take that little drill and a wire wheel and I go after all this and clean it up really good. The tin, the hub, and the bearing. face because there was a lot of junk on there, and you want it clean and you don't want any junk between your tin and all that stuff when you bolt it down. So got to put the nut on, cotter key, put the brake caliper back on, put oil in the diff, and then figure out how to put 5 ounces over there through the shift mechanism to engage the axle. I got my 5 ounces of oil in there. What I did is I unscrewed the 4-wheel drive indicator, and then I gave it a shot. I filled this 2-ounce syringe that I had up twice, run it in there. Worked like a piece of cake. Jeff wins. That sounded stupid. Cake doesn't work. Now make like a tree and beat it. So I put my tool away that installs those seals and everything. That came out of Roberts, Montana. So, for those of you that know where Roberts is, I haven't got a clue. This is my van trailer in here, and it's a freaking disaster area. We're using the Anderson Construction Jpaydirt parts numerical system to organize and find things. It consists of a Sharpie marker and a cardboard box, and then you just write what's on there. You know, I mean, I got everything. I save everything, because you just never know when you might need it, you know? You just never know. Snow's melting off. Says we got a 20% chance of snow today and a 50% tomorrow. I say a 0% chance for the rest of the day, but I could be wrong.
It's alright.